Hello, welcome to a first in a series of videos I'm going to create. These videos are to teach entry-level programmers on how to program. The way we're going to do this is we're going to make a very simple web application that is database driven, has entity framework models behind it that assist in reading and writing and manipulating things in the database. And we're going to do it as, like I say, a phone book. We're going to do a phone book, very simple. So this is going to cover objects in C# core. This is going to cover views and models and the C# core framework itself a little bit, just to give you a quick introduction to it. And at the end of this, you'll have a working website and database and application that you'll be able to use as a reference as you go forward and learn. So I'm going to share my screen. And what we're going to be starting with is Visual Studio. I'm just going to open it up. And I'm going to say create new project. And I'm going to start out with a web app. So this web app, I'm going to call it, instead of the yellow pages, I'm going to call it the green pages because we're green XT. And this is a website, so I'm going to create it. Clear. I want to create the web app. I click next. Sorry about that. So I'm going to call the project Green Pages Web in a solution called Green Pages. There's going to be more than one project in here. I'm going to put the classes separate, just to demonstrate how this is done. You can put them in the same application. It doesn't matter. I'm just doing this as a demonstration of how kind of you do this in general. So target framework, .NET Core 3.1. I could change it to old versions if I wanted to, or I could change it to .NET, which is different environment, but we won't worry about that. I'm not going to configure for HTTPS. This is just for locally running on my computer. I'm going to click create. So you should be doing the same along with me here. Now you'll see what happens when you create a project in .NET Core is it frames out a basic application for you. Right now, I could press the start button. So this IS Express button up here, the little play button, and it will run the site that it created for me. So this is just a quick test site and how it looks. As you see, it boots up a local IS and it just says welcome, right? So, you know, the standard in demonstration of programming, I want it to say hello world, right? So I'm going to close this overview thing. So how does it work in general? Well, there's a lot that goes on in the background. Suffice it to know that it's kicking off an index page. All web pages, you know, whether it be all websites, whether it be any programming language whatsoever, usually when you don't have anything after it, it's either /index or /default or / something like that, right? In this case, it uses index. So here is the index page that it's actually rendering. And as you see, it does say that welcome. So let's just change that to hello world. And that's all it should say now is just hello world. All right, so let's do that. And as you see, that's all it says. So what are these links up here and where do they come from? Well, when you create a site, it always comes with a view start, and that view start gives other instructions. What happens is view start loads first and then the page index, right? So what does this view start saying? It's saying the layout to this is underscore layout. Where is that? Well, the layouts and other components that are shared across different pages are always in a shared folder. We're going to create later a couple of objects that can be used on multiple pages, although we're only going to have one, but the idea is you could use it in other places, shared resources that can be used across different pages. We're going to create it in that shared folder. So what does the layout page look like? It's got the header information. So this is the actual HTML page. And then when it's ready to render the body, quote unquote, the body of the page, it puts it in this render body. So I can get really crazy and I can do a lot of things, right? So in this view start, I can just take out this layout line. And when I press play, it just says hello world, right? I can take this layout line and actually add it to my index page instead. Right? And by doing so, I get that all back, right? But, you know, for the most part, it's best when you start out to just leave things as they are. Oh, and then another thing I could do is I could take this layout code and just put it on the index page and get rid of the layout page altogether. But this is reusable, right? This is meant to be, no matter what page I'm on, I get the same header and footer. So it's reusable in that way. So now we're back to where we started. And as you see, it all looks pretty. So what are the other things that we do here? Well, here's the home page, right? I click this, it goes home. I click this, it goes home. And I click this, it goes to privacy. So does that mean there's a page called privacy.chtml? Indeed, there is. So here you go, privacy.chtml. Use this page to detail your site's privacy policy. So I'm going to say privacy is an illusion. You can say view data title that comes from the page itself. There's, you know, not a whole lot of stuff in the default pages that they give you, but you get the idea. And this, I would play around in here and privacy is an illusion. So again, yeah, right. So we were saying that we can create other pages, right? So let's create a page called add new scaffolded item. That do. I don't even know. Oh, this is to create more razor page using empty. What about? So here you go. It's got the about model, right? So just like privacy, I can put in a title and have it show on the page. So I'll do that. By default, it's using the about model, which actually is this code. So I can do stuff on this page that can allow me to add stuff to page. We'll get to that later. We're just keeping it simple right now here. So I'm going to say yep. And then I'm going to say, let's see what it does on the privacy page. Just does a paragraph. That's what it's about. And then I'm going to add this to the layout page as another. And you'll see it added it on all the pages because they all use the same. So privacy, about. So That's the basic idea. So this is a very simple, no code behind really or anything like that. This is how you make a .NET Core web page and how it loads. And we'll get deeper into a lot of this stuff here in a little while, but this was just a primer for you to be able to get your first page, your first small site created. Again, this is going to be a phone book application that we're going to call the green pages. So it's going to have people, have phone numbers. One person can have many phone numbers and things like that. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into actual creation of the classes for that data. So we'll be right back. Next video.